How can the people function help, Alan, in some of these situations to understand more about emotions and potentially even help people who are in more difficult stress or even burnout situations? How can the people function help in your view?
I think there's a couple of really profoundly important things that the people or the HR function can really lean into.
Yeah.
So what we see in organizations is many organizations turn to the people function for guidance, largely because in the upper echelons of many organizations, people get to the upper echelons and the leadership cadre through technical competence in a specific area, whether it's the law, finance, marketing, operations, whatever it is, sales perhaps. But they don't come to organizations with degrees in anthropology. They don't necessarily understand the anatomy of the ego, the physiology of identity, or any of the really sophisticated, yummy stuff. They haven't been schooled in consciousness research. So they'll turn to the people function for some help and some guidance on these things. So it's really important that people function can help, because that's one of their primary value adds. So I'd say a couple of things is we see in virtually every organization there's a real focus in most people functions on what's called learning and development, L&D. But the level of understanding of the difference between L&D is not great. So people programs are set up, leadership programs are set up. Some organizations send their senior people to Harvard or INSEAD or some of the business schools for development, leadership development. But it's not actually development. What actually goes on is learning. Now, learning is important. So learning is really the acquisition of skills and knowledge and experience. So you might go for your 3-month program at Harvard and you'll have an experience on campus with other international colleagues. And then we'll fly a luminary in from Google or Silicon Valley to share some of their wisdom, and you acquire knowledge. You may even get some skills training. So you acquire skills, knowledge, and experience. But you go into that program and you come out of that program the same person, just a bit more knowledgeable, with a little bit more experience. So you haven't actually changed. But what they're not doing is they're not developing. So they go into the program and come out of the program basically at the same level. Just a bit more knowledgeable with a bit more experience. So they haven't really changed as a human being. So they haven't developed. So development is really a euphemism for change. So if you honestly look at yourself and think, well, how much have I changed in the last year or 2 years? The answer to that question for most people is not much. In fact, some people paradoxically use that as a badge of honor. This is who I am. I've always been that way. They use a lack of change as a good thing. So what it's really saying is I haven't developed. I've acquired more knowledge, but I haven't really developed. But the real advantage, the real commercial value add for the people function is to help human beings develop, which means they step up to a whole new level of capability. That is development, and that's profoundly different from learning. If you like to think of it, learning is a horizontal phenomena, acquiring more knowledge, more skills, and development is a vertical phenomena. And horizontal isn't vertical. You need both. You need a bit more knowledge and a bit more technical information and whatever. But the real game changer in a modern VUCA world is you become more capable, you become more able. So the people function really needs to understand really deeply that profound difference between learning and development, between, if you like, adding more apps and upgrading the human operating system. The real commercial value, 80% of the value of any process is in that upgrade, not just in adding more knowledge or more technical capability.